Okay, let's do this, guys. Hello, welcome to this latest episode of the Super Over podcast. I'm Liam Flint, and on this episode, we've got a really special guest, but we'll get to him slightly in a minute. We're going to start with JP Duminy, of course, former South African, I don't know whether to call him all-rounder or just batsman. Depends what mood I'm in, but we'll start with batsman.
Right.
And then, of course, bringing the bright lights to us, we've got Jemimah Rodrigues over in Mumbai. Of course, is an amazing India batter. And then, finally, our special guest. She is a bit of a leader. Our special guest for today, we've got another Safa.
Drum roll, JP.
Yeah. I don't have this today, sorry.
We're in danger. We're in danger of being outnumbered by some South Africans today. But we do have Faf Du Plessis with us. Faf, welcome, mate.
Yeah.
How you doing?
So good.
I'm good, thank you. So good. Thank you for inviting me on your amazing show. I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks for your encouragement there. Amazing show. Yeah. You've obviously listened to every episode so far.
Okay. I don't have to view what you do. I know what you do. I know you. So I know you're making a difference. Boom.
All right. Come back to you.
Yeah, I think we passed the character test just because JP's on here, so we can basically get away with anything. I mean, Faf, I'm guessing he wouldn't have told you anything about this podcast, would he? He's just thrown you in.
No, he told me he wants to do a quick WhatsApp video call just to talk, have a catch up, and then he sends me a Zoom invite. So, okay.
Well, however it happened, we're glad we've got you. So welcome, Faf, to the mayhem. I think, as always, we like to start with a bit of Corona catch-up to just see how we're all doing, because things are changing very slowly for us in different parts of the world. And it's great that we're all represented in our own little corners of the world. And Jemmy, what's been going on with you in Mumbai, but also wider in India? Any news?
I think in many states in India, they have reached the green zone. So, it's much better now. But compared to Mumbai, Mumbai is kind of still, not such good numbers we are seeing. So maybe the lockdown might extend a bit more, but so far it's getting better.
So when you say lockdown, are there different levels to that? Because we're certainly experiencing that in South Africa now, where we potentially at the end of this month going to go down to lockdown 3. So we've got these different levels that mean different things, or is it just lockdown and that's it?
No, there are levels. So Goa is in the green zone, but Mumbai is in the red zone. That's the worst. That's the highest number of rates in Mumbai. But so there are 3 zones like that.
Okay. What are the numbers like there?
So last week, I remember over a week there were almost 12,000 to 14,000 cases in Mumbai.
Oh, in Mumbai.
So quite just in Mumbai. Yeah. So that was quite a big number.
Okay. Sure.
Wow. But then, there are a lot of you. So the message is go to Goa, basically. Head to the coast. That's where life's really happening.
But listen, Liam,
what about for you? Go on, Jim.
The interesting thing about you guys is that, I saw a stat a couple of days ago. The death toll was over 34,000.
Yeah, just keeps going up. We've only just brought in this rule that we're going to stop people coming in and they have to quarantine for 14 days when they do, which the rest of the world did weeks ago. So, it's just, I think everyone feels like we've been behind the 8 ball a little bit. And, we've paid for it because we're right up there. Things have lessened. So as of last week, it's no longer full lockdown. And it's now, I think the message is, if you need to go into work, you can. But everyone else, if you can work from home, stay as you are. But inevitably, that's as soon as you say lockdown is not complete lockdown, people go to the beach. So we're right on the coast here, and it was crazy yesterday with thousands of people sunbathing, barbecues. So it's interesting times here. But we were stage. You talked about the stages. We've now gone down a stage. So out of 5, we're now down to 4. And we're looking to go to 3. And I think 3 is when schools start to reopen and stuff like that. So, sports coming back as well. Football's coming back soon. Formula 1 and all that stuff. So, we're desperate to get going again, but we need to watch out at the same time.
All right.
So yeah, different to India again. And what about you two boys in South Africa?
So we live about 45 minutes away from one another.
Oh, your neighbours.
Parts of the world, yeah, in Cape Town. And the weather seems to be, we can kind of, we both kind of elevated in our houses, so we can kind of almost see across the Cape Town, the city, and we can't see each other, but we kind of can see the area. So he gets the good views, the good sunshine, and we this is the riffraff down here. What's it like there in Westlake there, brother?
It's actually, it's going to start raining now. The forecast has been amazing this week. So we've had some really good days, no wind, and our year it's turning. So it's just, I can see the clouds rolling over the mountains. And therefore, my view towards you on the other side is no more.
Yeah, you can see you obviously needed one more IPL contract, JP, and then you maybe could go and live right next to Faf. Maybe you just retired a little bit too early.
To be honest, so we stayed in a similar complex for, what is it, 2 years maybe, or a year or two? And then he realized he was sick and tired of staying close to me. The interesting thing about that, we actually see each other more when he's not here. So he's when we stayed like 2-3 houses away from one another, we never saw each other. We probably took it for granted, to be fair. So now he's far away, so now we make the effort to actually come and see each other.
That's always the way. That is how it works, isn't it?
I think back then, James, is because we were playing together all the time. So like when you got home, you were trying to see other people, whereas now that we're not playing together all the time anymore, you have to make the effort with your mates. So you're obviously one of them. But with the effort every time.
He's obviously one of them. That's nice for JP to hear. I'm sure he was wondering about that. But I'm guessing loads of South African boys live in and around Cape Town, right? Is there a few of you that are within kind of a stone's throw?
Yeah, I mean, actually, myself and Dale Steyn and Jock Cullis are on the same estate. Yeah, so we're close. And then, there's quite a few guys in Cape Town. I mean, Morne Morkel did live here, about 10 minutes away from us, 15 minutes. But he's chosen to move to Australia. Yeah. So he's away now. And then who else, Jabs? Who's still national boy?
I know Avi's got a holiday home here somewhere.
Of course he has.
Yeah, so he's got a house. Mark Boucher, I think, has moved back now. So he initially was from East London, and then he moved to Cape Town. And then he was the coach of the Titans for a few years, and then he moved up there. But now I believe he's back here again.
Yeah.
Jamie, what about in Mumbai? Have you got any neighbours, like any teammates or big names near you?
Not really, because our team in the T20 side, I am the only one from Mumbai. And there's one more who is Poonam Raut, who stays in Mumbai. But, the Mumbai traffic, to get to a house, it will take me 2 hours. Whereas without traffic, it's hardly like half an hour journey. So, like, no chance of meeting her.
Oh, every time we talk about Mumbai, I just feel a little bit ill.
It's an amazing experience in, you're talking about India. And our experiences has been, yes, we've played for South Africa in India, but our main experiences has been IPL. Having played for Mumbai for a few years, played against Faf in IPL, got him out a few times. So, I mean, in terms of Chennai, I mean, my experience, particularly from a Delhi and a Mumbai Sunrisers, has been pretty good. I mean, Faf, you one of Chennai's poster boys in many ways. I mean, what has that experience been like for you?
Yeah, it's been life-changing. You would know IPL to be very fortunate and grateful that we almost like the generation that's been part of the IPL. There was a lot of great cricketers before us that didn't get that opportunity. So it's been amazing that we're so lucky to be a part of the IPL. And for me also, to be with the same team for so long, special that you could. In the 2 years that I wasn't with Chennai was when we moved to the Pune Super Giants, because Chennai was suspended for those 2 years. But that was basically like 60% of the Chennai side as well, with the same management, same captain. So yeah, it's been incredible for me to be part of that journey for so long. I think it's 10 years now, maybe with Chennai. So hopefully another 3 or 4 more years there would be nice.
Man, yeah, the big anniversary, the big 10-year. Though, Faf, when you must know, having been there so long, that when the draft comes around, you're pretty much safe. But is there still a little angst when you're thinking about that as to like who's going to go where, or do you just think I'm tied down, therefore I don't need to worry about anything?
A little bit of both. One or two of the times I was retained, so then going into the auction that you are safe, as you would say, and then the other times not so sure, and you hope that you go back to, I suppose, what you know. I mean, it's a team that you know, it's the management that you know, so you hope to get back there. But this year would be, this year we don't know if there's an IPL now, so if that's going to happen, and this would be the last year of the last round of the big 3 cycles, and then you would get a completely new draft system. So that would be interesting to see how that unfolds if there isn't an IPL this year. Like, would it be another year before a new draft, or how would they play that? So that would be pretty interesting. But you do, I mean, of course, I'm like any other player, you so badly want to be involved with the IPL, and you're never sure. The IPL has also evolved quite a bit in people are a lot smarter with the way that they buy their players now. In the past, there was just like, bang, just buy all these names, buy all these players. But now it's like, we need this one specific skill set, and we're going to look for that specific skill set right across the world, So every year I look at the list of players who don't get picked up, and I'm like, wow, there's some amazing cricketers that are not in that list. And just like blows your mind. But it's because people are just looking for a specific skill that they go for in those auctions.
Yeah. It is. I mean, that's been my experience as well. I remember 2018, it was. I got picked up again for Mumbai. So it was a very rare occasion where you get to be picked, a second time round years later for the same franchise. And the experience of coming back there was quite an amazing one. But you talk about how they are so unique now in how you select players. So I remember having a conversation with the owner, and one of the main reasons why I came back, or they selected me, one, besides the fact that I was going to be cheap, was there was a leadership component to it as well, where they had quite a young squad, and they wanted to select a few players around them. So your younger group would probably going to be your core of performers around certain individuals, of your sort of senior players like your Rohits, your Pollards, and so forth. But it's important to have some good leadership group around them. And you think of Chennai, that was definitely a model that they used pretty well throughout the 10 years that you have been there, because you think of, there was just like this core group of players that were constantly there throughout your tenure there, that was really consistent in performance.
Yeah, that's probably the blueprint that Chennai, I won't say they got lucky with it, because they planned it. So right in the beginning, they planned that they wanted to try, and this was the way they want to go and pick their players. But then there was definitely they did well early on. So then you can back the formula like straight away. Whereas obviously if you lose the first year, then you'd have to, well, what are we trying to do? But they backed it. And one thing that's been true in all my time there is that they are extremely consistent with trying to make sure that there's not too much movement within the team. You have your core group of players, and you stick with them, and they back that. Even at times when players' form is not as great as one would like, they back it longer than most other teams does, and it 90% of the time comes good. Those players will perform in big matches, or your big semi-finals or big finals. And I mean, MS is obviously a huge part of that. He's been he's been the leader from the beginning, and his form is always there. He's played well all the time, and I have noticed that when he's not there, Chennai is a different team. So he plays a big role in the success that Chennai has had, but also the fact that how they look at auctions, and you talk about a core group of players, James, but how well they were specifically in going for captains is something that stood out for me as well. You know, at one stage we had McCullum, myself, who was captains of our countries. Bravo was captain of all the teams that he played for. You had MS, who was captain. You had Mike Hussey, who's been captain in times of his career. And then the guys that they let after that, Shane Watson has been captain for a long time. So they do believe in leadership and leadership group. Obviously, like I said, MS is the brains trust there. But what leadership does in terms of the players that you go for is that it's thinking cricketers. You know, it's smart cricketers that make good decisions, that talk about learnings, whatever. And I think as a group, we've done that really well. We're lucky that we have this huge brain trust that we can, any situation, we feel like there's so much knowledge and calmness on the field that we can get to the right decision. So that's been, I think, the superpower that probably Fleming and Dhoni decided they wanted to do right from the beginning.
Yeah.
Jem, how would you compare that to your beloved Mumbai Indians? Like hearing Faf there and talk about like the strategy. Mumbai Indians, obviously loads of success as well. Do you think they've also got it really right? Or are you listening to some of that and thinking, oh yeah, we could do this or we should have done that?
I mean, it's both ways. They have been successful, but you know, one thing I really love what Faf said, that you know, Chennai has been backing the same players for quite some time, and playing with the same bunch of players actually, you know, help you get that combinations right. And Mumbai has always struggled to get those combinations right in the early stages of the matches. They always pick up in the later half. So I think that's why Chennai has been kind of consistent. And yeah, I mean, that's what I was thinking. But it's also it's both ways actually. But you know, for any player, you know, to get that kind of backing, you know, actually brings out the best in them. Like they're like, no, my team, my whole support staff, and everybody believes in me. So you know, it gives them kind of a stability, and you know, it removes that insecurity from them, and they're you know, given the freedom to go out there and just express themselves because they know they've been backed behind. So I think that's one of the best parts about Chennai.
And is there rivalry, particularly within the women's team? Interesting, like in this series of discussions we've had, we actually spoke a little bit about women's IPL as well. You know, how you guys are so excited and encouraged by the thought of that and the conversations that are coming up. But is there quite a big rivalry within your team in terms of the support of various teams?
Yeah, I mean, in the team, yeah, everybody is from different states, so of course they will support their franchise accordingly. So sometimes we do have this battle also with the IPL matches going on, and you know, all the Mumbai Indians. Actually, I'm the only Mumbai Indian supporter over there. I'll be on all, yeah, and rest all over there. Mostly they are all Chennai Super King supporters. But yeah, but I am a true Mumbai fan, so I'll always be there for Mumbai. So yeah, there is that rivalry.
Yeah, well done, Jem. You stay strong. Keep going.
Yeah, man. The interesting thing about Faf, what you were saying, you talk about captains, and you talk about how Chennai, you know, formed their leadership group around that. You've obviously been a captain now for a couple of years in South Africa, and you know, we've walked the journey together in leadership as well. What would you say has been the standout for you in terms of your leadership? Well, what I mean by standout, your biggest learnings as a leader, particularly for a very unique country as South Africa?
I think that evolves. You know, that's something that every year there's something new that is something you learn from yourself or from the team. So, I mean, as I grew as a leader, I became more comfortable in what was the style of leadership that I wanted to do. You know, I was very fortunate to have learned from some great captains. So I would look at every guy that came across my path as an opportunity to learn from them. So as I said, I was very lucky early on. So starting off, playing under Graham Smith, which is, amazing captain that South Africa's had for so many years. And you watch closely what he does. And then going to Chennai and watch closely how MS operates. And you watch closely how Stephen Fleming is one of New Zealand's greatest captains. And on that journey, you go, okay, that's me, that's not me, that's me, that's not me. And you kind of start building this style of leadership that's authentic to you. And I think that's something that I really understood, this is the way that I wanted to go as a captain. And these were my strengths and these were my weaknesses. And align myself with people that the areas that I was a little bit weaker in, maybe initially in my leadership, to try and help me out in that departments, which you would know well in the leadership group that we had, is, okay, well, James, this is what I feel you are really good at. So I need you in this space. And then you would do with it what you like. You would go and chat to the players and tap in with them and make sure that you fulfill that need, and then bring that across to me. So JP would be a good example of someone that would be the heartbeat or the softer guy on the team that everyone feels like they can speak to, and like the shoulder to cry on, or speak about them.
The softy,
the better communicator, not the softer guy.
The big softy, yeah.
No, with softness can be a positive thing as well.
Soft skill.
Yeah,
you've got a way with people where you can be soft towards them, and then they open up towards you. So, and it's a skill that I got better at as growing as a leader. But initially, it's hard for players to be open and honest and communicating in a safe environment all the time with the coach and the captain, because as a player you feel like, I can't be insecure towards the captain or the coach, because when it comes to that moment, if I tell them, like, I'm crapping myself when I have to bowl the last over, like, the captain's probably not going to give you the ball if you tell him that. So that's what I mean with, like, JP, whatever, this is what I'm feeling, this is an area for you where you can really shine. And he was incredible help for me. So there was a few leaders in our team that were incredible in that everyone had something that they could bring to the party. So yeah, Japes, I evolved in growing as one does as a person, where I got better with the things that I didn't do as well in the beginning. Towards the end, that I understood more exactly what I wanted to achieve, especially through people and my relationships with people, that I understand that a lot clearer now than I did in the beginning. In the beginning, it was more like tactics, like really zoning in on what is my strength. It's tactics, so really backing that, bringing the best out of people from a tactical point of view, a planning point of view. And towards the end, it was the relationship point of view.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it has certainly been a journey, to say the least, particularly for the two of us, where we've walked a journey for over a decade of friendship. And then there comes a point in our lives, and part of that journey, as we've spoken now, has been the leadership and understanding you, the captain, but how can I assist you as not only a player, but also in playing some kind of leadership role. But also, if you backtrack a little bit around that, we've walked this journey of friends outside of cricket. And one would say that our friendship probably grew tenfold when a certain moment in our lives happened, and that was the understanding of who Christ was. It is we come from different backgrounds, we come from a different understanding of who Jesus is, and had different experiences. And I certainly feel as your friend that our relationship has blossomed because of it. understanding who Christ is and how much he loves us, and kind of an overflow of that to people around you. And you talk about how, particularly now that I'm done playing, you still playing, so we try and connect as best as possible when you're back in Cape Town. But it's a lot to do with our faith journey. And I want to go back to this to the time where I certainly, or both of us actually, the year 2013, where both of us came to know Christ and started a journey with him. But take us through that moment for you before I kind of share the story of Sri Lanka, where we had a unique moment together. How did you come to understand who Christ was, and you had that craving that you needed to have him in your life?
Just to touch on what you said there about our friendship, I think the biggest, not lesson there, but the thing that stands out from that is
Hello,
the
Jordan.
fact that, it's the dogs just saying hi and welcome everyone to. I've got 3 dogs, and everyone comes with a different challenge. Like, we've got one now. He is old, to say is an understatement, but he's got 75,000 lives. Like, whatever happens to him, he's not going down. Operations, and like, his neck is so like old and stiff now, but he's still soldiering on.
Still going.
Anyway, back to the friendship. What made it grow, Japes, is the fact that you want to spend time with people that is going to add value to your life. So that is something that we decided then especially, but it happens naturally, that the people that are really putting value into your life and adding value to your life, you drift more towards them because they make you feel better or they make you a better person. So I think that was a turning point for our relationship, because we both realized that how important we were from a spiritual journey as well, that it was actually making us better people. So that now, whatever our friendship group is, all of those people had the same purpose to it. It's like they add so much value to my life. Like, I just want to be around them most of the time, versus the people that maybe don't. Naturally, you end up just spending less and less time with those people in your life. So the journey for me is similar to you. To tell the story very quickly would be, grew up a Christian, but didn't have a relationship with God. So it was extremely hot and cold, very religion-based and rules. And you came to me in Australia 2012, I think it was, on the field, and you asked me, do you ever feel like there's something missing from your life?
On the field?
You were standing at third slip. I was at gully, and it was like between balls. And I just looked at him. I said, "What? You feel like something's missing in your life?"
Safe pair of hands, man.
Yeah.
I actually said to JP, no, like, I'm living the dream. I'm playing for South Africa. I'm here with my mates. Like, financially, we're doing well. Like, we're traveling the world. Like, this is what you dream for. This is the dream right here. So no, I'm happy days. But obviously, his question was about something more, and it wasn't like he was asking from a God point of view. He was just asking. And what unfolded after that was amazing. How everything just unpacked after that was the fact that I got injured, couldn't go to the IPL for the first 4 weeks of the IPL. I had a stress fracture, and my wife wanted us to go see a person that would just talk to us about marriage, how our marriage should look, and just guide us a little bit through that process. And he wanted to work with me individually rather than the couple. And he was like, listen, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to have to spend some one-on-one time with you to get to your heart. And that's at that stage where things really started changing for me. I was frustrated because I couldn't be in the IPL, but it ended up being the best 4 weeks transfiguration, or whatever you call it, transformation of my soul, that made a huge impact on everything: my friendships, my relationships, my leadership. the person that I am today. So it was such a God moment, because then through that 4 weeks, I invested time with him, and he shared incredible wisdom into my life, and got saved in those 4 weeks, and phoned JP and I said, listen, that thing you talked about that was missing from my life, I've got it. Like, got it. My heart's in a better place than it was. And he was like, sure, I want to find out more about it. So that's when Sri Lanka tour was next after the IPL. And that's when, the journey for us started then.
Yeah. And you talk about, that 4-week period of looking back at it now, how that transformed your life, because that was part of the process of coming to know Christ and getting saved. Whereas for me, it was very similar. It was just a 7-month process. So if you remember that tour, we had that conversation on the field. A week later, I got injured. And then you actually came in for my position. And I'm sitting there with a cast on my leg. I remember, watching the game on my bed, and I'm thinking, Faf Du Plessis has just scored 100 on debut. How the heck am I going to come back into this team? And those were real thoughts, even though we were good friends, the competitiveness in you, it comes out naturally. But yet it was a process of really, I also met a really close friend of mine now, who's my pastor, and, spent the 7-month process with him, just answering a few questions, loving me, taking me through this process. And I remember fondly what he said, particularly around, from a cricketing context, was stay in your lane. I can't be thinking about Faf like doing what he's doing right now, and I'm worried that he's taking my position. I've got to stay in my lane and make sure that I focus on me and getting better. And when the time comes, the opportunity will be there. And then we kind of kept in touch, myself and Faf. And then, we went to Sri Lanka, and he then decided, right, so he's now the saved guy, and so he wants to start a Bible study together, and I'm his first target. And if you remember, Faf, so we're having this first session, and he then says at the end of it, right, we're gonna pray now together. And I was like, what? I don't know, I don't really feel like and he just said, like, whatever's on your heart, just say it. And I think I prayed maybe for 30 seconds. And it was so tough for me because it was so uncomfortable praying in front of somebody. You remember that? And eventually, we got through it, and the group grew. And
I actually, after that prayer, saying to you, that was actually a really good prayer. And you were not even thinking about, like, it was the 30 seconds worst prayer you've ever imagined.
Yeah.
But I was like, wow, that's a good prayer.
Yeah.
Who was in that group? Was it a lot of you?
So the group grew, only 2 more. It was AB and David Miller. And we went through this devotional book together for the couple of weeks we were on tour. And that night, I think we were 3 or 4 weeks in on the tour, and we went into David Miller's room. And this chapter that we went through was salvation. And we went through, the study of it and so forth. And at the end of that, the question was asked, are you ready to commit your life to Christ? And we kind of like looked at each other. So Faf was like the leader of the group, you know what I mean? So we kind of like looked at each other like, yeah, man, let's do this. So myself, AB, David Miller, we then prayed this prayer together and committed our lives to Christ. And yeah, the funny part of this is, so Faf wasn't kind of kneeling down with us at the time. He was kind of observing it. And he then stands over us, with his phone. And at the end of this prayer, I then look at each other, all of us, and say, man, I had this most amazing experience. I felt this white light coming upon me, while we were praying. And at the end of it and Faf just breaks out laughing because he was standing with us. He's standing with his phone over us, taking a picture, and it was the flash of the camera.
The glory of God right there.
So that was kind of our experience of it. And yeah, like you said, our relationship and friendship, it's not separate, it is one and all. we've walked an amazing journey together thus far, and hopefully there'll be many memories and moments in it. But it's been a priceless journey for sure.
Like when you guys say the word salvation, I'm just aware some people listening to this may have no idea what that means or anything about what it actually means to be a Christian. When you say salvation, it's not just a bunch of rules and you decide, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to be a Christian. Could you just paraphrase for us what that actually means for someone who gives their life to Christ?
Yeah.
I'll go up to you.
Say again?
There you go. I'll go up to you.
It is truly just a relationship with Jesus Christ where you are rebuking the life that you've walked or lived for however long it's been, and you're realizing that you need to repent for your sins. But it's amazing what you say about rules and regulations, because I remember the first part of that journey, it felt like we needed to get, I don't know about you guys, but I certainly felt like I needed to tick boxes and get things right. And the further along I went this journey of salvation, it was realizing that God just wants to walk a journey with you. He wants to be part of your everyday life. And through that, the definition for me of salvation is accepting and realizing that Jesus died on the cross for us and that he rose again. And through that salvation, we have earned the right to live this eternal life with God once we leave the earth. But that's not the best part, is that it is walking this. So you're not only living for what's eternal, you're living for your day to day with Christ, because he's walking this journey with you. And it's no promises of it's going to be, just this amazing life. There are challenges, there are frustrations, there are moments of why questions, there are moments of what questions, but it's still knowing that he's there walking this journey with you.
Sure, preach it.
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah, I've said it so many times on this. Preach it.
I'm not even going to try and add anything to that. I'll just copy and paste. There we go.
Yeah, you shouldn't have let him go first. Faf, you should not have let him go first.
That was his time to shine.
Part of the one of the great parts of this podcast is fans get to plug in and kind of ask a few questions. And I know we've got quite a few people who are big fans of Faf, particularly in India. So Liam, what sort of questions have guys thrown in at Faf and at each and every one of us?
Yeah, we've got some tasty ones. I love this first one in particular. I love it. So it's addressed to JP, but it involves Faf and JP.
All right.
Filmy Love on Instagram says, who would win in a fight, you or Faf?
Filmy Love, is that the name of it?
Filmy, like a movie, Filmy Love.
Oh, okay.
Who would win in a fight? Not that you ever would, because you're lovely, peaceful men, but you know what I mean.
Well, used to be.
Yeah. JP soft.
When he puts his earring in.
If he's calling me soft, then I guess I'm gonna be coming second, am I? So,
JP has always been the lover, not the fighter.
I've had to influence him in a positive way to bring him over to the other side. Because if you had known Faf,
the fighter, and now I'm also the lover.
If you had known Faf in his secular life, he was first in the brawl.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to him.
Okay, all right, Faf the Brawler. We've learned something. That's good to know. Right, Jem. Shetty9573 says, do you ever sing when you walk into the crease and bat?
Oh, so many times.
Do you?
Yeah, I do it a lot. Once I was on the non-striker end and I was humming a tune and the umpire is looking everywhere. He's looking at each and every player, the bowler. And then the last person, were you humming that song? I'm like, yeah, did you hear it? Was I too loud? And he's like, yeah, but you sing really well. I'm like, okay, thank you. So yeah, I do sing a lot.
Yeah, if you actually don't know, Jem is quite the talented one when it comes to music. Plays guitar. Do you play other instruments as well, Jem?
No, just the guitar.
Yeah, and got quite a voice. So we attempted to kind of collaborate a little bit, but then I got pushed down. No, I think I backed myself a little bit too much, and she was like, "Nah, you don't have any skills there." So
Yeah, Jemmy's on
that.
safe to say, Jemmy's
I
on another level.
wasn't even going to try that because I'm shocking at singing or musical instruments.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
In the career you guys have had, you must have had lots of dressing room songs, probably heard each other in the shower singing. So I'm sure you've had a lot of sing-songs together.
have we?
Yeah, JP dance as well. So he's always the guy that challenges guys to a dance-off.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen it in his TikTok videos recently.
Yeah. Look, I mean, that's probably something that I'm a little bit better at in terms of the team. There have been a few guys that have challenged me and come off second best, but also there's been a few guys that, come close. But I don't think I've lost one just yet. But maybe it's a biased approach as well by guys.
I've seen that you've got there's a move that's
a signature move. It breaks everybody. It breaks everybody.
He sticks with what works. He hasn't changed his game plan over the years. The last 10 years that I've played with him, it's that one or two quick feet move, and then he finishes off with a little
Jennifer Lopez.
Little KO.
Yeah. Wow. Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So
yeah.
we'll find someone. You probably keep picking on people like Imran Tahir or something for a dance off, and that's why he keeps winning.
Yeah, probably.
Pick some other people. Right, Faf. Lobo Solitario on Instagram says, who's the next promising player in the South Africa team after this current batch?
So currently playing or not currently playing?
So basically, like, who's the next prodigy after this current batch have moved on? Who's a young and upcoming?
Yeah, I think Aiden Markram is a special player. I think he will be a very good player for South Africa and will play a lot of games in the future. He's still very young. Possibly still, captain South Africa as well. Rassie van der Dussen is someone that's really jumped to international cricket. He hasn't played a lot. He's only played 2 or 3 test matches now. Quality player. His white ball record is very good. So probably those two from a batting point of view.
It's that youngster that's recently played in the MSL, Mzansi. This quick bowler, I think he played for the Lions team.
Gerald, yeah.
There we go. Yeah. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, he's good. Real good. I think he'll get fast-tracked as well. He had 1 or 2 injuries, so this will be a big season for him whenever this season will come. But he's only if you've got pace and you're a youngster, a lot will get spoken about you. So we've always had great fast bowlers coming through, always in the South African culture. So looking forward to see who will be the next Dale Steyn, Morne Morkel, Vernon Philander. All of those guys are done now. So especially from a test team point of view, will be a new bowling attack. But hopefully someone like a Lungi Ngidi or someone will come through and be one of those 3 great bowlers that we've had for so long, because that's where cricket gets won or lost, is your ability to have those amazing bowlers.
Yeah.
Okay. JP, back to you. Dash Story says, which was the shot that you had to practice the most to get good at in your career?
Probably the pull shot. It wasn't something that was natural to me, and it was definitely something that I found challenging in my career, where guys would come with that kind of tactic, particularly in Test cricket. They'll try and bowl short at you. Got out quite a few times, and it became a sort of perceived weakness, and needed to then really invest time in not only practicing the skill, but mentally, mentally making peace with the fact that this is something that's become a challenge for you. So you're kind of accepting that, and then mentally overcoming that along with the physical aspect of it. But yeah, the short ball was definitely something that I needed to practice quite a bit.
Okay, Jem, Mr. Upside Down says, can you please, this is going to be tough, can you please make a quick combined India and South African 11 of your current favourite players? Good luck.
Is this a men's team or the women's team?
So mix it.
That's even tough.
Well, whatever's easiest, but let's try and get some like evenness, not just a whole India 11 and then ABP.
I might be kind of biased. Mixed team, I haven't really thought about that.
Yeah, that's the beauty of this, Gem. We've put you under pressure.
Okay. So I would go with Sehwag.
Oh.
And okay, as an opener, then I would take Smriti, lefty-righty combination.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Smriti
Then-
or Graham Smith?
Smriti.
Okay.
Okay, then I will have AB
Faf.
de Villiers,
Oh,
Faf Du Plessis.
wow.
Don't force me. Don't force me.
Yeah.
Then I can have
Happy to come
Poonam
back.
Yadav as a Poonam Yadav as a leg spinner.
At 5.
Yeah, and Virat Kohli. Can't
Lots of
miss him
batting.
out.
Push down the order.
No, I mean he'll.
Oh.
Okay, we're going
Yeah,
batting
look
order
at
wise.
No,
that.
I'm kidding.
No, I'm just what was coming to my mind.
Yeah,
And then
we
can. I mean,
This is tough.
yeah, Jack Callis, one of the best all-rounders.
Good pick.
Good one.
Who else is there?
Who
Yeah,
else is there? There's a guy called like JP something, but I don't think he's going to make this
JP is
team.
my 12th man.
Thank you. I don't mind being the coach, eh?
JP, remember JP is good with the softer side, so we can use him with that off the field.
Mental coach.
Yeah, just the coach. Okay, Gemma,
Yeah.
you're on to a wicket keeper.
Mahendra Singh Dhoni,
Of course.
of course.
Sure.
How many have we done? I'm not sure how many have we done.
So let's say you've done your top 6, you've done your keeper, you've done a
Mhm.
spinner in Poonam Yadav, so you just need 8, 10, 11.
Yeah, I would take Marazan Cap. Or Cap, I don't know how it's pronounced.
Yeah,
As my medium pacer.
Oh, yeah, South African.
Yeah. And so do I need a bowler or a batter now?
You need a bowler.
Couple of bowlers.
Maybe.
You've got Dale Steyn, KJ Rabada, Morning
Yeah.
Bull, Umesh Yadav.
Yeah, I'll go with Dale Steyn.
Dale Steyn. Okay.
Yeah.
And you got one more, maybe like a Jasprit Bumrah or something in at 11.
Yeah. Bumrah, correct.
So no Elise Perry.
She's not a South African, no.
Oh yeah, of course she's not. Oh yeah, I got carried away
Oh
with
my
the.
goodness.
Wow.
I got carried away with the World 11. I was thinking about
Wow.
the World 11. And
Not the
then
interview done right now. It's on fire.
well done, Jemmy. That was tricky.
Very tricky.
JP's
Thanks to
glad
you
that
guys.
didn't come his way.
Yeah.
I knew that would test you. Okay, Faf. Right, I got about 1 million questions about this, so I've just labelled it. Everybody in India is asking this question. What's it been like playing with and getting to know MS? Have you learnt from each other?
I don't know if he's learned from me, but I've certainly learned from him. As I briefly touched on earlier, very fortunate to learn about leadership, that I saw the really good things that was working for him, and then apply it to how I see it in captaincy. Obviously, he's an extremely calm guy. It's something that I've spent a lot of time in very high pressure moments to see exactly what it means and how he deals with it. So I think that's been good to be a part of. I've learned definitely how to deal with pressure, I think, and chaos a little bit better just by being around him. He's also got a love for bikes, motorbikes, which originally I didn't know anything about bikes, so we've had a few motorbikes conversations. Dogs, he's a dog lover as well, and recently daughters. That's been as life has progressed. Most of us at Chennai have got daughters, so it's great that we spoke about how long and consistent we've had the same team, but youngsters in the beginning, everyone just being young and full of energy and playing around and all sort of stuff. And then you've passed forward 10 years and now everyone's got kids, everyone's family, and it's still the same feeling about the dressing room. So yeah, I've been very fortunate to have spent all the time with him that I have.
So, Jemmy, you're still saying Rohit Sharma over MS, even after this conversation?
I really love MS as a captain. But when I play for Chennai, I like him. Because he has a strategy running in his mind, and 95% of the time it always works. So
yeah. Okay, right. I've got one cheat question to finish because I found this hilarious. It's for you, Faf. Pranali says, your fitness / your body shape seems to be like that of a model. What's the secret to maintaining your model shape? That's genuinely a question we had in.
Is this a question that JP just had a different name?
Oh my goodness, no.
Because this sounds like a JP question.
Yeah, now you mention it. Yeah, that username.
I remember not too long ago, you and honestly, I didn't ask this question, but there was a post on Instagram, and you were in this very unique position. And, you were just showcasing what you possess, nothing about it. And I guess that's where the question comes from,
Yeah,
okay.
people think you're a model, not a cricketer. So I don't know whether that's an insult or a positive. But
no, I enjoy training. So I am lucky in one sense that I have got good genes. So, myself and Japes has had this conversation a lot of times.
2 months away. I'm 2 months away.
yeah.
Where JP has said to me, it's unfair that how easy it comes to me and how hard he has to work for it. But I do really enjoy being busy. Japes will tell that about me. I just go all the time. So I never really sit still, and I enjoy spending time in the gym. So I'm disciplined in that aspect. I have a reasonably good diet where I eat a balanced diet all the time consistently, and then when I want to eat something that I want to eat, I also treat myself to that, because my consistency through the week is good, so but I enjoy it. I mean, modeling, no, it's not something that is part of my next venture after cricket, but yeah, I've had lots of trips like that in my cricket career when I come out to bat. People abusing me about the size of my shirt or the fact that I always have my shirt off. So it's part of it now, and I'm very comfortable with sitting in those shoes.
There you go. Fascinating. Weekend cheat days, everyone. That's how you get by.
There you go.
Takeaways are okay from Faf Du Plessis. You've heard it here first.
Japes says, I don't know if you want to share, but when JP is, when he does a cheat day,
yeah,
like he does not stop. So I said to him, Japes, the secret of having a chocolate is just to have 2 little pieces. And he's like, no, I'm eating no chocolate for 2 months. I'm starving myself. I'm slapping my wrist when I'm having a piece of chocolate. And then when he has one chocolate, he destroys the chocolate.
Yeah, I've got those extreme tendencies, unfortunately, and yeah, it hasn't necessarily worked for me, to be honest. It's not something that's sustainable, put it that way. But I think post-retirement, I've found a little bit more balance, because I think I've realized that I don't need to do any fitness tests or skin fold tests. So okay now, just train and you can treat yourself maybe 4 times a week, not only once.
Yeah, the chocolate supplies have gone up in the Duminy household.
Yeah.
Okay, Jemmy, could you just go into your double trouble mode and just do how people can get in touch with us on our socials?
Yeah, so guys, you can catch us now also on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, and we have our website, www.superover.com.
Well done, Jemmy. That's the first time you've got it right all in one go. You're training her well.
I've been doing this the entire lockdown, so at least some benefit from it.
Good. Good to know we're putting it to use. Yeah, Faf, thank you so much for your time, mate. It's been great insight. Great to catch up. Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you again, man. Thanks for having me.
Cheers, Dippy. Thanks, eh?